Hi guys, and welcome back to one of my videos. This time is another GT40. I am Paolo, love GT40 Model Works, so of course I build out GT40s, and this is the other model that I made about this wonderful racer. This is the MK2 model coming from the Fujimi box, nearly straight from the box. Later on I will explain you why nearly straight from the box, and it reproduced nearly perfectly, I think, very nicely the Le Mans winner car driven by Chris M. It was the car that we see in the movies a few months ago, and was incredibly famous because this was the black Le Mans winner, and probably one of the most iconic livery she ever had, And the model that I used was, of course, this was a scrapped model that I had in my stash, and I never want to trash these nice lines because I always think to do something easy, not to become too complicated model, just to relax and to detox a little from other bigger projects, And the model that I built up here, it was so coming from, it was originally a Fujimi box, reproducing quite correctly, I think much nicely than the MK1 that they sell. This is the MK2, so with a much higher rear hatch. You see, it became much more tall, the rear part of the car, because in the reality they were hosting a 427 Ford engine, 7.4 liters, and this was absolutely an incredibly powerful car. You see the movie, so you know the story that is around the GT40. And the only big modification that I did on this car, it was that that I don't like so much the line provided by Fujimi straight from the box, because in my opinion they just worked in the narrow version of the GT40. Instead, these cars have usually a very sensual and very nicely done curved shape to reproduce this model. And so the biggest modification that I did here, it was mainly about the front wheel arch that have been enlarged. So this side of the plastics have been cut, and you have there is some explanation in the previous video that I made some time ago about the build-up of this black car, but you basically have to enlarge this point of the wheel arch and retake the curvature of the wheel to make it a little more. I think we are in the size of a couple of millimeters, to get the proper shape in the front of the GT40, If you can see here, that curved line, The car is also painted in black, so it's a very sensitive and very delicate paint that have to be, in my opinion, one of the hardest challenge ever to paint black cars, is to give them the proper shiny, without forgetting that this was a racer from the 60s, so you cannot go ultra glossy like you go with ordinary modern supercars and so on. So these have to remain in the same level. And the biggest issue you will find taking the original Fujimi model, it is that most they completely mismatch the decals. There is other company producing the decals of this car, but this graphic have been made for me by my graphic designer, that is Andrew. Andrew made an excellent work featuring the chromed silver line over the car, the proper number with the proper font, and some minor decals, like the Ford here, that are particular of this model. The only other correction I made to the model was that this MK2 has a very specific steering wheel that is a little different from the ordinary other GT40 coming back in days, so it's a little more bigger, and I made it in photo etched part. I think it was a photo etched part coming from MG Models production from Tuscany, and I also added the typical two little photo etched part holding the front edge where there is the air intake for the radiator, for the front radiator, and model basically straight from the box. I liked it a lot. The wheel, they don't look so gold, but the center rim I made in a pale gold. Probably had to made a little more strong like color, but I don't like strong effects. When you see always this car reproduced is always with this huge gold rims, so I prefer to make something a little softer. and the minor modification as the reel and the small stuff, you know, there is a little photo etched part on the rear fenders here that you can see, but nothing so particular, nothing so hard to do. It's really a pleasure to build up, and absolutely a must to have in a proper collection of Le Mans racer, and even more if it is a GT40. So build up GT40, buy GT40, and enjoy them in your collection, guys. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next video. Thank you, guys.